The University of Kentucky, located in the heart of downtown Lexington, provides tasty dining options for students that live on and off campus. Scattered around the campus are several dining halls and food cellars that these students can choose from. Bowman's Den is one of the students' favorite places to eat on campus and is home to Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, Subway, Panda Express, and Greens to Go. Bowman's is conveniently located between many of the main classroom buildings and several of the undergraduate student housing locations. Despite being so popular among students at the University of Kentucky due to its variety of food choices and great location, the population of students that occupy Bowman's fluctuates throughout the day, growing and shrinking as the day goes on. Bowman's can go from being filled with buzzing student activity to an almost vacant space in a matter of minutes, depending on what time of day it is. Mornings at Bowman are often one of the quietest parts of the day in this space. The people who use the cafeteria at this time are typically the restaurant workers and the few early rising students who fill the Starbucks line, yearning for the morning coffee that they hope will wake them up. Instead of being filled with the noise of students, the space is filled with the sounds of coffee machines, fizzing and foaming as the baristas try to make their customers the perfect custom drink. A few conversations add to the mellow vibe of the den at this time of day. However, the peace and quiet of the space in the mornings doesn't last for long, as the space fills up with people and noise as the day continues. Around 11. In the following audio clip, you can hear the space, an hour after its opening, filled with the buzzing and purring of the coffee machines and the lack of overwhelming student conversation. Around 11, Bowman's Den shifts into the lively space that it is known to be, as students pour in from both sets of large glass double doors and begin forming the long, winding lines that lead to each food option.
No, we barely have enough for one team. You get out of here? Yeah, I gotta go.
I interviewed several students that use Bowman's Den and enjoy the space at different times of the day in order to understand how the student population uses Bowman's Den and chooses a time to be in that space. I interviewed several students that use Bowman's Den and enjoy the space at different times of the day in order to understand how the student population uses Bowman's and choose a time to be in that space, asking students how they personally like to use the cafeteria when they go to Bowman's and what time of the day they choose to occupy the space. My first interview was with Gabby Melendez, a freshman at the university who uses Bowman's as a spot to get lunch.
So Gabby, you use Bowman's Den a lot. How do you like to use the den, and what times of day do you like to go there?
I go there mostly to get something for lunch in between classes, and I go around 11 because it's not too late to eat lunch, but it's not too late that the lines are so long.
So Gabby, you said you like to use Bowman's Den around 11 to get some lunch. Is there any time of the day that you try to avoid Bowman's altogether?
Usually between 12 and 2 because that's when the lines are way too long and they kind of wrap around the entire building.
While students like Gabby try and avoid Bowman's Den between 12 and 2, many students return to the den around 3 to get something to eat after a long day of classes. In the late afternoon, Bowman still has a few students lingering among the unorganized rows of tables and chairs, either studying or picking up something to eat on their way back to their dorms or off-campus housing. The environment of the space is much calmer in the afternoons and evenings, without as much noise, conversation, and activity from the university's student body. Located no farther than 5 minutes from Bowman's are Champions Court 1 and 2 and Limestone Park 1 and 2. The convenient location of Bowman's, right on the edge of North and Central Campus, makes it extremely convenient for students like myself to grab a bite to eat from the den on my way to class, or even on my way home after a long day of classes. However, on the days that I choose to get food from Bowman's on my way home from class, I've noticed that the space is often close to vacant in the early evenings, causing me to wonder what time the den closed. I learned from the Bowman's Den webpage on the university's Campus Dish website that the den is open from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. for students to get their meals using Meal Swipes, Flex, and their Plus accounts. Despite being open that entire amount of time, students are rarely seen at Bowman's before 8 a.m. and after 7 p.m. The den's cafeteria space is almost always completely empty at these times, other than the people who work there, wandering around in their least busy time of the day. At this time of the day, the mood in Bowman's is so calm and quiet that if you walk across the building, you can even hear your own shoes squeak on the cold concrete floor. Bowman's is one of the most popular spaces to eat on the University of Kentucky's campus. However, its popularity fluctuates depending on what time of the day it is. This space's popularity and occupancy throughout the day gradually grows until it peaks around lunchtime. Lunch at Bowman's is the busiest time of the day at the cafeteria, and it's typically filled with both noise and students. After lunch, the den's occupancy slowly declines, transitioning back into the calmer environment that reflects what the space is like in the mornings.